How's it going, everyone? Now, thanks to 2K Australia, we were able to fly to Hollywood and get our hands on Borderlands 3. So here are some things that we wanted to let you know about the new Borderlands. Number 1, the story. So now that Handsome Jack is out of the way, you need a new villain to step up and take his place. And in Borderlands 3, they are Troy and Tyreen Calypso. So these characters are actually based off streamers, and well, I'll let Randy Pitchford describe this one.
You guys know the type of streamers we're talking about, you know, the kind of streamers everybody hates. So these are like the douchiest kind of streamers of the impossible future that you can possibly imagine.
Did you come all this way for that busted ass map, or are you just here to see me? Didn't know you were such a super fan.
So Tyreen is one of the sirens, and her ability is to leech life out of things that she comes in contact with. So their plan is to open up all the vaults and leech the life out of all the monsters inside of them. But as a vault hunter, you can't let anyone beat you to these vaults, so it's your mission to stop this from happening. And now beneath the Calypsos are their loyal followers called the Children of the Vault.
Another perfect live stream for our infallible God Queen Tyreen!
So as you progress through this storyline, it'll actually take you for the first time ever off Pandora, which leaves me to number 2, Interstellar Travel. So in the demo that we were able to get our hands on, we were able to travel between Pandora and Promethea, the new city planet. But in order to do that, you will need a new home base, Sanctuary 3. This is your new hub that you can come back and regroup and get ready for your next mission, whether it be on Pandora, Promethea, or any other planets that may be coming in the future.
I mean, what we've seen today so far, you see Pandora and Promethea. There will be other locations that you can go to, but that's all I can say for now. So tune in at E3. Yeah.
Awesome. Aboard Sanctuary 3, you've got a lot of the familiar cast from other games, as well as a bunch of ways to regroup, get your ammo back, and even find old missing loot that you've lost out in the field. Now, Sanctuary 3 is massive, and there's a whole bunch of things you can get up to in there, or you can just go hyperspeed and get on with the next mission. Number 3, customization. So in the demo we were able to play, we got our hands on Amara and Zane, 2 new characters coming to Borderlands 3, and we got a look into their skill trees. With Borderlands 3, you have 3 main skill trees that you're able to spec into and select. Now, in each of these skill trees, you've got a bunch of different sub-options that you can spec into and change the way that you play the game. And because of this, the characters that you're playing and the way you're playing them will most likely be different to other people that you meet. On top of this, they're bringing in a whole bunch of different aesthetic character customization, from skins, colors, emotes, and stuff like that. Now, in every other Borderlands game, the main thing that made your character feel unique is the gun that you had in your hands, knowing that it's very unlikely that anyone else has gotten that exact gun. Which leads me on to number 4, guns. It would not be a Borderlands video if we didn't talk about the absurdity of all the guns that they've packed into Borderlands 3. Using their algorithm to generate all these guns specifically for you, pretty much every gun that you pick up in Borderlands 3 will be different in either its looks or in its stats that are attributed to the gun. So firstly, they've introduced a new thing called alternate firing modes.
And some guns now include an alternate shooting mode. Try it out.
So you might have a pistol like in this clip here, but if you switch into its alternate firing mode, you might find that it can shoot rockets. Only in a Borderlands game will these types of guns exist. As you progress through the game as well, you can find stuff like dubstep guns, seeking missiles, shotguns with shields, just a whole bunch of crazy stuff like that jammed into one game, and it is absolute mayhem once all these come together. So in Borderlands 3, there are actually over 1 billion guns. On top of all of that, there's a special class of guns now that have legs and that you can pick up and throw into battle. They'll stand up and start shooting people, and I think that's amazing.
And I wasn't there for this conversation, but I can imagine someone saying, guns with legs, that's ridiculous. And then maybe there was some tension, and then someone else came in and said, oh my God, guns with legs, that's badass. And then they said, okay, fine, keep it, whatever, everybody likes it. So I think more than anything, it's about kind of letting go and accepting that sometimes weird things are going to come out of it, and someone somewhere is going to love that, and I think that's kind of what gives Borderlands its charm.
So finally, this leads me on to number 5, gameplay. So there's a bunch of new gameplay changes that they're bringing into Borderlands 3, and all of these changes combined lead up to the most hectic and insane Borderlands yet. For example, you're able to punch barrels now that fly into the enemy and you can shoot them mid-air. You're able to slide under objects or to increase your speed during combat. Cover is able to be destroyed if you shoot it long enough. There is a whole bunch of new mini-bosses and bosses faced in the game, and Borderlands 3 has the most bosses of any other Borderlands game. But one of my favorite additions to the game is loot instancing and XP scaling. This means that if you're level 25 and your friend is level 10 but you still want to play co-op on the same mission together, the game will actually scale the levels to each of you, so it's not completely impossible for one person and easy for the other, or vice versa. On top of this, if you enable loot instancing and you finally defeat a boss and it drops a weapon, the game will generate a unique instance of that gun when it drops, but it will have separate stats specific for the character that you're playing. Now, of course, I would never be able to get into all of the changes that have happened in this game in the past 5 years of development in one video. And for a game that basically started the shooter-looter franchise, I'm happy to see them continue with the traditional Borderlands style, but still able to make it new for Borderlands 3. Thanks for watching so far, everybody. There were some things that we thought you should know about Borderlands 3 from the event in Hollywood. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like and let us know in the comments down below why you are excited to get your hands on Borderlands 3 when it finally comes out. Thanks for watching, everyone. This was Ari from EB Games, and I'll see you next time.